6-4 Training System's latest training cycle is the Thor training cycle. We have come off the block or back of the last 12 months being periodized around a theme that we had as the Army theme, obviously being the 6-4 Army. This time we are theming this next 12-month period as the Avengers cycle. So your first cycle is the Thor training cycle, and it begins on August the 18th and goes through till September 26th. Is it a 6-week total training cycle? And today we're going to cover the needs, focuses of this cycle and the intentions of what we're trying to develop. So in this training cycle, and I'm just going to brief some of the things that we are doing, give you the intention, stimulus, and then the kind of the reward or gain from it. A lot of weightlifting will be done in this cycle with the intention to develop explosive power, and then the technical proficiency that will be in all of our drills, some block work, and then just generic classical lifts, but then a bunch of complex lifting throughout as well. So you're going to get lifting endurance and just the autonomy of how to wield a barbell and make that in quick succession. One of our biggest focuses of this whole training cycle is a power wattage output. So we've just come off the back of a block where we got extremely strong. We had kind of concurrent levels of endurance work, and it was almost all specialized, individualized work. Now we just want that nuance of like, hey, we beat up our body a little bit by getting top true strength. Let's use that strength and now to develop power. And so with power wattage output, you generally will do maximal efforts, but rest a lot of time to recover to be able to reproduce those efforts. It won't be a lot of training volume on those aspects as such, but you're going to be using the machines to figure out the wattage. And so our goal is in week 1 to produce a maximal level wattage and a recurring or average split wattage across all sets as well. And then we're going to be testing those throughout the weeks, or adding layers to development on those concepts. And then at the end of the training cycle, we're going to revisit that original max total wattage output and see if we can't beat that. So that's something that I think is pretty cool and nuanced and specific to growth of development of power. And I think that I just want to reiterate to the audience out there that good training doesn't have to leave you beat up on your bum every single time. And I think that that's a misguided concept. When you're trying to get better, you don't always have to die for those pockets of moments to do so. So power wattage output, I want you to be thinking about quality work over quantity. And again, it's probably not the most memorable, difficult workout that you will do, but we're trying to express true maximal effort and develop on that. The CrossFit skills, so just the generic CrossFit gymnastics skills, you'll see handstand push-up variations of deficits, wall facings, parallettes, and so forth. Handstand walks, bar muscle-ups, toes to bars, ring muscle-ups, rope climbs, in all facets as well. So we're going to be improving on all of those skills, if not once per day, almost per training day, if not, 4 to 5 sessions on a week, and developing specific skills at that. A bunch of metcons that won't be super complex, but will be very, very specific in the development of what they choose to be. Bench press, we haven't had a bench press in our cycle for quite some time now, so we'll be looking at progressive overload through percentage work and then also maximum reps as well, just to squeeze out as much of the juice as we can and put that more into the hypertrophy realm. Skill intervals, so we're looking at really nailing our precision and efficiency under clock pressure and repeatable skills at that. So we want to have enough rest that we can kind of get within 5% of that first effort. Maybe there's 4 sets, maybe there's 8, but it should be constant and repeatable throughout all of those sets. And think of skill intervals in CrossFit like balancing something like monostructural Olympic weightlifting and the gymnastics components into one breath, but not at such a threshold where it's not achievable to kind of do that workload in one grab at it, or an unbroken set, maybe maximum 2 sets. It's not going to leave you looking at doing singles on a barbell for 45 reps or something like that. You have multiple options of working on your weakness throughout this. So if you've been a user of the 6-4 Training Systems programming in the past, quite often we'll have choose the next components based on your perceived weakness. So 80 to 85% of total workload will be the same for all users, but then you get those pockets and moments where you can work on the specific needs of you as an athlete to grow those areas. So then you're not someone that's sitting there saying, man, I've not worked on the things that I need to do that's specific to me. And it's in conjunction with the rep schemes and total volumes and rep maxes and etc. Throughout the week and throughout the month and throughout the whole training block. All those considerations are in play in terms of maximum recoverable volume and minimum effective dose. So how much training or stress do we need to put on the body to elicit a positive response or any response at all, and then how much is the maximum amount of work that we can do before we can't see enough recovery to be able to have repeatable results from day-to-day basis. Overhead squats. It's been a while since an overhead squat pattern progression has been in the training program. It's obviously extremely specific to Olympic weightlifting and also the sport of CrossFit. I will lead with lots of wrist work, lots of wrist protection and wrist strengthening will generally be the limitation of the overhead squat. That absolutely before the absolute leg strength. So those are the things that we'll be looking at in that. General back squat builder, they kind of go on a maintenance block. You only do these 2 sessions a week. I say that only when you've also got an overhead squat progression in there as well. So there's plenty of squatting, and that's, you know, in amongst workouts with thrusters, hang squat cleans, wall balls. So there's plenty of movements that get you below parallel and build out that base. But one of the back squat programs on the week is just going 3 times hypertrophy sets, either 10 to 12 reps, and it's a lower percentage, 50 to 60% of your 1 rep max. We're just looking for good volume, leg endurance, and just creating good habits and technique on those squats. And then much like the bench press, we have a section in the week where we do those percentage work, and then also a 1 max set, so we can really stress the muscle fibers for growth as well. Rest day is very, very important, and if you've been a part of this program and you can see our app online, it'll give you awareness around how to recover, why to recover. We have a recovery point system as well, so that's something cool to look into. Swim session once a week. If you're a user and you do that religiously, it's been pretty cool to see. Our Saturdays are for a blender workout where we will do 3 or more workouts in conjunction, and it's just going to flow from one to the next, and they could be all different types of mixed modal styles of workouts, from weightlifting specifically, find a rep max, for time workout, an AMRAP, and all sorts. So yeah, that's kind of it really, as a kind of macro look at it from a 6-week block. First week, loading week, we go progressive overload on those concepts for about up to the 4th week. We deload or have restoration for 1 week, and then we express our power in that final week with a peak week. That's it. That's the Thor training cycle in a nutshell. I don't want to go too far in depth on it and just kind of repeat the same points. But if you're interested in getting better over this next 6 weeks, if you want to take another look at how you can kind of attack your training, especially with, you know, the nuances of adding some power wattage outputs and focusing on different concepts on machines rather than just calories per hour for time on our distances and things like that, then this could absolutely be something that could be intriguing for you and interesting, but also thoughtful and progressive. So in summary, again, August 18th to September the 28th is a 6-week training cycle. This is the Thor Cycle, and I can't wait to see your results in the training app.